Trying to build a couple of vanity units this week, and I've been given a bunch of reclaimed wood to use to make the tops. Best thing about going and milling up some timber, and here it is after it's been kind of smoothed off and so on, is I get to put it in Mavis. So here she is, full up of wood. Lucky her. So I'm going to do a test, and the test is I'm going to make some doors for the front of these vanitinis, but I want to make them out of veneered MDF. Excuse me. And I want to put an edge banding on this, but I want to try a slightly different edge banding that will hopefully kind of almost make the edge banding disappear. And it's to use this particular sort of edge banding set. And basically the idea is that this is the kind of the I guess the door itself, and you cut that profile into it, and then you take a hardwood piece and you cut that profile into it, and you stick the two together. And then my hope is to basically cut right to the edge of here on this bit of hardwood once it's kind of stuck into there, to hopefully mean that the edge basically completely disappears. Or at least that is the plan. So I'm going to do some tests. Veneered MDF and see if that works. Just run this piece through, and this is what you get, this kind of, I don't know, arrow shaped part. So that's with this bit. So I'm now going to change over to the other bit and cut into a bit of test. It's just a bit of MDF. Now I've put the other bit in and I've leveled it as best I can so that those two things are meeting. Hopefully now when I run the piece of wood through, this kind of little tongue bit will fit in this groove, or groove, tongue, whatever it is, you know. So piece of MDF, or veneered MDF, has got the gouge cut in it now. And the idea is that this little guy comes along and sits in and it's perfectly flush. Well, it's not bad, but it needs a bit of work. So on this side, the wood is actually, it's hard to show you, wood is slightly proud of that, which actually is kind of what I want, which is better. Whereas this side, it's kind of lower. So yeah, I think in theory this is going to work. It's just going to take a bit of dialing in on the router table and probably having a slightly thicker part for the edging. But anyway, let's give it a whirl. Goes at this sort of edge banding thing, and actually this isn't bad at all. So that's the join there, but also I'm going to cut right along that line there of the hardwood part, so actually it should hide it really well. We'll have a look, and you can barely see that edge running all the way along. Right, let's give it a little plane down, and I reckon it's just going to disappear. Just run it through the table saw and you can kind of see what I was trying to achieve now, and I tell you what, that edge is almost imperceivable. So I reckon by the time I've planed it down very, very slightly, or sanded it, I reckon this is going to work. There we go, that's had a quick sand down, and my goodness me, it really, that edge really just has kind of basically disappeared. It's very good. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about mitered corners, because my whole idea is I want this to go around here, and that's going to involve mitering the edge banding, so that it's kind of at a 45-degree angle here, because there's going to be obviously a similar piece on this side. So that'll be interesting. But anyway, hey-ho, it works.